You ever noticed that opening a tight jar is, I don't know, just a little tougher than it used to be? Or maybe carrying groceries up the stairs feels like more of a mission. It's something we all kind of feel, right? As the years go by, we seem to lose a little bit of that oomph, that strength. But why? Is this just a totally inevitable part of getting older?
Okay, let's get into it. Today, we're going to unpack the actual science behind why our muscles change as we age. We're going to look at the biological machinery, right down to the cellular level, to really understand what's going on when we start losing muscle mass and function over time.
So here's the game plan. First, we're going to put a name to the problem. It's called sarcopenia. Then we'll zoom right in and look at the cellular culprits. After that, we'll check out the body's fuel system, and finally, we'll talk about what we can actually do about it.
So let's start at the beginning. We need to define what we're actually talking about here, because this isn't just about feeling a little weaker. Nope, there's a real scientific term for this whole process.
And that term is sarcopenia. As you can see, it's the progressive and involuntary loss of muscle mass, strength, and function that's tied to aging. Now, the two words you really want to focus on here are progressive, meaning it happens slowly over time, and involuntary, meaning, it happens whether we like it or not.
And we're not talking about a tiny, insignificant change here. The data shows that we lose about 3 to 8% of our muscle mass per decade after we turn 30. Think about that. And that rate just gets faster and faster after age 60. So the big takeaway is that this isn't some far-off problem for old age. It's a real, measurable process that starts way earlier than most of us think.
So why is this such a big deal? Well, sarcopenia isn't just about not being able to lift heavy things. It's a huge contributor to disability in older folks, and it's also linked to this whole cascade of other health problems, things like an increase in body fat, insulin resistance, and even really serious conditions like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and osteoporosis. It's all connected.
Okay, so we've defined the problem. We know what it is. Now let's dive into our next section and really look under the hood. We're going deep inside the body to find the cellular culprits behind all this.
But wait, before we can figure out how the system breaks down, we've got to understand how it's supposed to work when everything's running smoothly. So how are our muscles actually built and repaired to begin with?
It's actually this incredible three-step process. First, some kind of stimulus, like exercise, wakes up these special stem cells called satellite cells. This then flips a switch, turning on specific genes inside the cell. Those genes get transcribed into messages, which are then translated into brand new muscle proteins, things like actin and myosin. These proteins, they are the literal building blocks of our muscles.
So how does aging throw a wrench in the gears? Well, as we get older, two things happen. First, the number of these little repair cells goes down, and second, our body's ability to even call them into action gets weaker. And the result of that? The whole repair and growth process just becomes way less efficient, leading to less muscle growth over time.
And there's another huge player in this story: hormones. The source material puts it really clearly. Testosterone is basically the body's #1 muscle-building steroid. So it makes total sense that a decrease in testosterone would lead directly to a decrease in muscle protein synthesis. And here's exactly how that chain reaction works. When testosterone levels are lower, less of it gets into the muscle cell's command center, the nucleus. This means fewer of these special hormone receptor complexes get formed, and those complexes are the very things that turn on the genes for building muscle. So the end result is less gene activation and ultimately less muscle being made.
So we've seen what happens inside the cell. Now, let's zoom out a little bit and look at the body's bigger energy management system. Because let's face it, muscles need fuel to do anything.
It's a pretty simple question, right? But the answer is fascinating. How does the energy from the food we eat actually get into our muscle cells to power them up?
The whole process really depends on insulin. Just think of insulin as a key. It travels through your blood and fits perfectly into these little locks, or receptors, on the surface of a muscle cell. This unlocks the door, opening up special channels so glucose can get inside. Glucose is the fuel, and once it's in, the muscle can use it for energy.
But here's the catch that brings us back to aging. As we get older, our cells can become resistant to insulin. It means the key doesn't work as well anymore. The doors don't open as easily and less glucose gets into the muscle cells. This broken fuel delivery system is another major reason our muscle function declines.
And once that fuel finally gets inside the cell, where does it go? It heads straight to the mitochondria. These are the tiny power plants inside our cells. They take that glucose and, through this process called aerobic respiration, they turn it into something called ATP. And ATP is the high-energy molecule, the actual energy currency that powers every single move we make.
Okay, we've looked at the problems. The cellular changes, the hormones, the broken fuel system, but the story absolutely does not end there. So let's get to our final section and see how we can actually influence this whole process.
So we all know exercise is good for us, but what's it actually doing for our aging muscles? Well, this is where it gets really cool, because the answer comes right back to those cellular power plants. Aerobic exercise literally increases both the number and the activity of our mitochondria. More power plants means more ATP, which means more direct energy for muscle function and repair. It's that simple.
And the science on this is just so encouraging. Studies show that aerobic exercise doesn't just make our power plants work better, it can also directly stimulate muscle protein synthesis, even in older folks. So that very process that slows down with age can actually be kickstarted again through exercise. How amazing is that?
But what about what we eat? Well, it turns out it's not just about eating more protein. It's about eating the right kind of protein. See, there are essential amino acids, the ones our body can't make, which are absolutely crucial for kicking off muscle protein synthesis. Then you have the non-essential ones. They're not bad, but they aren't the main drivers of muscle growth, and any extra can actually get converted to fat.
So, let's do a super quick recap. Sarcopenia. It's the natural, age-related loss of muscle. It's a complex thing driven by changes in our cells, shifting hormones, and our body's declining sensitivity to insulin. But, and this is the most important part, we can fight back. Aerobic exercise supercharges our cellular power plants, and smart nutrition focuses on getting the right building blocks, those essential amino acids, for muscle repair.
And that brings us to the final question, which is really one for you to think about. Knowing that this whole process can start as early as age 30, it's really worth asking yourself, are you building the muscles today that you're going to need for tomorrow?